Okay, hey guys. First things first, I do want to apologize for the angle of this video. This was the only way I can get everything in here. So you'll probably see me pulling it up and down like this so you can read it better. One, please do not let this paper overwhelm you. For those people who have that side of me that I connect with that has ADD, it's like, what the hell is this? I don't want to read all this. Basically, when you go into the Grand Cardinal Cross, all this is saying is that your true self is about to come out, whether you acknowledge it or want it, and it doesn't really care whether you like it or not. So your true self is about to be revealed, whether you agree with it or not. That's basically what this Grand Cross is saying. Now, for those of you who are like the other side of me, and it's like, what? How the hell you get all that? Where did that come from? What are you talking about? What do you mean? You need to explain. This is what this paper is for. It's going to go into explaining. So first, let's go into what they mean by the Grand Cardinal Cross. Now, what they mean by, I'm sorry, I'm getting messages on business while I'm doing this. So I'm reading that at the same time. But anyway, let me come back. So what they mean by the Grand Cardinal Cross is, let me fold it down to bring it down some. As you see the word cardinal here, what they mean by the Grand Cardinal Cross is that each planet, Uranus, Pluto, Mars, and Jupiter, are all in cardinal signs. Uranus being in Aries, Pluto being in Capricorn, Mars being in Libra, and Jupiter being in Cancer are all cardinal signs. Now, what does that mean? Cardinal signs are very direct signs. Excuse me. They're creative signs, but in their creativity, they're not mystical. They're very direct. They know what they want. They know what they want. They know how it's supposed to look, and they're very direct on how it's supposed to get there. Cardinal signs also have a way of, I put speed up there, but that's, I guess that's the best way I can explain it. Not saying that's the best explanation out there, but that's the best way I can explain it. The energy of it seems to like speed up how things work. And if you notice, since we actually went into the spring equinox, or even just went into since the winter equinox, honestly, of last year, everything seems to be happening like that. You think of a person, they're calling within 20 minutes or within the next day, depending on your energy. You're thinking of something, the next day you see it. Or the next day, at least, even if you can't buy it the next day, whatever, it's come closer to you, whereas it seems more possible now that you can get it, maybe on sale. At the time, and even though you didn't have money to buy the sale, the fact that it even went on sale proves that it's closer for you to be able to get it. So anyway, cardinal signs are very direct, they're very active, and they're very creative, but in their creativity, they're very direct and to the point. So that's what I mean by the Grand Cardinal Cross, and obviously by the cross, things are crossing. The next thing that I want to get into is, what do I want to go into next? Is the date. I'm going to that because I have the date over here. Now, the date that the Grand Cross is supposedly to line up perfectly, at least according to my research, is April 23rd, which will be Monday, Tuesday, which will be Wednesday. Wednesday is the day of Mercury, which is your intellect and your thought. So with that, the numbers of that day line up to 7. And 7 is number completion. But I think many people misunderstand completion. They think, just because it's done, they don't have to do anything. Completion doesn't necessarily mean finish. When something is completed, that means now you have everything together and you're able to either use it and find experience from it, or you've already experienced it and you're able to extract wisdom from it. Completion is never as an end. When you understand this world, you understand spirit, there's no such thing as end. There's only an end to a cycle, or there's only cycles and then rebirth of a different cycle, which will bring you back into another cycle. So with that, understanding that that date, that number equals up to 7, which means all things coming together, which means a lot when you go into the actual different signs. And I think the easy way to understand it is to go sign by sign with all this information and then bringing it all together. First things first, every sign in here is under an angular house. And what angular means, which if you're paying attention, it's over here. Angular, well, I don't mean if you're paying attention because you may not be able to read my handwriting. But anyway, angular is over here. And what angular means is that it's a sign, it's a personal sign, but it's also an active sign. And out of it being very active, it's also a material sign because it takes activity and action to bring you material gain. And by material, it literally means the material level of this world. But there's also a catch. So with every sign, Aries, Capricorn, Libra, and Cancer, it's a very material-wise as opposed to things that you bring in towards yourself. And again, we're in an age where it takes about that fast, snap of a finger, to bring things towards you. So let's go into the different, and all signs are actually polarities. If you notice, every polarities. Pluto is under the sign of Capricorn and is in the 10th house and is dealing with your public life. You have Jupiter expansion, which is the sign of Cancer, which is dealing with your home life when you look at the 4th house. So you have those polar opposites trying to balance out. The public house, your public life and your home life is the polar opposites. And most people normally say it's a problem, but to me it's not a problem. Anytime you have polar opposites, especially with a cross, everything meets in the middle. So that means these energies are trying to balance out. And this goes to what I said in the beginning, where everything is coming together to show your true self and your true desires, whether you want them to or not. And then you have this way, which is Uranus and Mars, which Uranus is all about self. I'm sorry, you're actually going with the houses, which is Aries and Libra. And Aries is all about, well, Uranus is actually kind of about self too. But anyway, Uranus is all about, Aries is all about self and who you truly are. And then you go this way to Mars under Libra, which Mars is actually about partnership. When you understand Mars and you understand physical energy, you understand that physical energy has to come from two opposites coming together to create. And there's different, you could do it through war or sex, which is a total other story. But going over towards Libra again is about polar opposites. Libra again is about balancing the two. And in the 7th house is about partnerships. And over here, the 1st house, which is the ascendant house, is about self. So you have self over here and partnerships over here coming together, trying to balance each other out. So hopefully I didn't lose you or confuse you. Let's go to Uranus and start over here. Uranus. There we go. Okay, there we're going to make it go. But Uranus is all about your mind. But Uranus would be, if you look at Mercury as the intellectual mind, a logical mind, then Uranus would be the spiritual mind, the unconscious mind, the part of you that, again, is original, that makes you you, the unconscious mind, which connects to spirit, which states not only your desires, but how you want your desires to be fulfilled. And it's also freedom from the collective. We've been living in an age where it's all about the collective, all about what society wants, all about what society says you should have, all about what society says you should be in life, what society says you should do, and all about being worried about how society is going to judge you. Uranus is total opposite. It's about being uniquely you, being free from society, free from judgment, and doing what is the greatest good for you, with certain rules that do apply, but being the greatest good for you, using a little common sense and not hurting other people, and learning what you need to create the best life that you have and how to apply it. And with Uranus being under Aries, we know Aries, which is down here, is all about personal self and outlook on life. So if your spiritual mind and your originality is all about, say, cooking, then that's going to affect your Aries, which is who you are, and your personal life is going to be all about cooking shows, talking about cooking things, having debates about different herbs and foods and how they put together. And your outlook on life is going to be based, obviously, off of your personal life, which is going to be the world of cooking. And you'll see things through ingredients, even if it's something simple as an outfit. You'll see, just like as you throw rosemary and lemon and rosemary and lemon on salmon to make it taste better, to keep it simple. You may have this shirt with this pants, and it comes out with a business or professional look, and you can use that. That's very simple, direct to the point without going too deep, of how the energy of Uranus and Aries will work all for self. Now, let's switch to the polar opposite. Over here you have Mars in Libra. Libra is all about balance. We know that. And over here Uranus is in the first house, which is, I can't even explain how that means with the first house. In the first house is what I was talking about with the personification, the outlook on life. Now here you have Mars. Now mostly when you hear me talk about Mars, I talk about war and the sexual energy. But when you understand Mars, or the occult understanding of Mars, is actually the physical energy, and it also connects to your, move over just to make sure you can see it. It also connects to your will. And your will is nothing more than the energy you need to do the action, because your will is action. So the physical energy you have is how much action you'll put into something. Now this action, again, we've been living in a society where it's all about, or living at a time where it's all about society. So your action went to what society said you should do. Now we're coming into time with all these different grand crosses, with this grand cross, cardinal cross, whereas your actions now need to balance out with who you're supposed to be, the original person you're supposed to be, and your outlook in life. Your actions have to now balance out with that, which is perfect with it being in Libra, because Libra will automatically make you slow down and do the balance of, is this for self, is this for society, and which one is best for you, and it'll automatically make you balance. Also, Mars is in retrograde, and it will be in retrograde until May 20th. Hopefully you can see the little writing right there. And with that being in retrograde, you will have no choice but to slow down your actions, meaning you'll go to do something, but something will make you hold back and stop just a little bit. And it's going to make you think, which brings you back on this side. Is this the best for me? Will this show who I truly am? Will this bring me freedom? Will this help me being the genuine, original person I want to be? And with it being in the 7th house is all about partnerships. And even though they try to make it about physical partnerships, husband, wife, ability to work with others and everything, partnerships also can mean your own mind, meaning the logical side and the creative side coming together and slowing down to make sure that what your mind want, your spirit want, this side, is in line with the actions of what you're doing, which is this side. And this is what the Grand Cross is. Now, for those who have not been doing shadow work or dark work, this will be a problem for you, because you're going to notice, whether you want to or not, that your actions, which is this side, is not lining up with who you truly are and who you want to be, this side. And it's going to be a problem, because who you're portraying yourself to be, if that's not who you truly want to be, is going to bring issues, because your actions is going to line up with who you truly are, and people are going to start to see who you truly want to be, whether you want them to or not. And again, it's going to bring balance, not necessarily to other people around you, because it's going to end up you losing a lot of friends in public life and home life to bring you balance. And don't worry about it. You're only going to lose the people who are not good for you at this time. It's just like a tree, where some people are leaves where they have to fall off. They're only good for a time. Some people are seeds where they're meant to take from you what they can and then fall off and go and grow and do their own thing because they got from you what they need. And some people will be branches, which will stay for a while, but in hard storms they'll break off. And some people will start to be a part of the trunk, a part of the root, meaning they'll be there forever. Just know that's how life is, and everything is change, and change is supposed to happen. It's a good thing. Once you learn that and you understand, once you learn that, you'll start to learn who is who in your life, and it's perfectly fine. It doesn't mean they were a bad person. It doesn't mean they were a bad friend. It just means at this particular time in your life, it's meant for them to go and do their own thing. They got from you what they can get from you. You got from them what they can get from them, and it's time for them to move on. Now, because I'm at 14 minutes, so I'm trying not to make this too long. Let's go up here to Pluto. Pluto is in, back up. I'm going to go down here to Jupiter. Jupiter. Can I hold this in one hand? Yes, I can. If I pop it like it's hot. There we go, Jupiter. Jupiter is in the fourth house. Jupiter is the planet of expansion, higher learning, greater fortune, which they say Venus is just smaller fortune. The reason why Venus is a smaller fortune because it's based off things you can already see. And Venus, I always say, is the planet of the arts. Anything you find artistic, the sexual arts, music arts, movie arts, paintings, makeup, whatever you find artistic, is something that's already visible there that you find beauty in. But with Jupiter being in greater fortune, is what you create, is what you see the future to be. It's your vision of how you want life to be. And with that being a fourth house, which with that being in Cancer, it's going to be connected to how your instincts connects to how you feel. I'm sorry. Which Cancer, again, to understand that Cancer is ruled by the moon. And I'm not going to everything on this page, but if you study astrology a little bit, you understand some of the keywords I have on here. And everything on this page is keywords. But with Cancer being ruled by the moon, is basically the moon rules your emotions, which is actually ruled by instinct. So your instinct is telling you right now, and I hope you're paying attention to it, what you need to do for your vision to come to life, so you can have the greater fortune. And all this goes by a higher understanding or a higher learning. With it being in the fourth house really, why they say that's your mother house is because it's the house of the depth of your soul, the deepest part of you that you try to keep hitting for yourself. Like a lot of times, certain things that happen in your childhood, you try to keep hitting. Just like certain parts of what you believe, your true belief, whether, no matter what you say, the depths of your soul stays there. It's also the home of your life, of the past, present, and future. Past being how you brought up, present being what you're doing now, and future being what's going to come based off of what you're doing now, personally in your own life that not everybody publicly knows about. It's also the house that connects you to your ancestral connection, meaning if you allow yourself to study and meditate, at this time what will happen is you will allow your ancestral connections and, of course, honor your ancestors. It will allow that to come in and that energy to come in and come through and show you why you came to this life, what it is, whatever business you haven't finished, or even if your business is finished for past life, what you came back here to experience and to do as a new experience. With that connects to your public life, which is up here, which is Pluto. And Pluto is in Capricorn, and we all know Capricorn is the sign of using. But one thing I think people misconstrue, which is the reason why I got the planet that rules over it, which is Saturn. People misconstrue with Capricorn being using to be very dominant, very carefree, very irresponsible. But in actuality, when you're truly using Capricorn energy the way it's supposed to be used, you are actually very responsible for what it is that you're doing, because you know where you want to go and you see what you need to get there, and you use what you have in front of you in accordance with your talents to get there, which is the reason why I have here I use and Saturn, because Saturn is the planet that most people say is a karmic return, but what they don't tell you is that when it involves your karmic return, what they're actually saying is what you do now will define what you get back. That's what they mean by karmic return. It doesn't necessarily mean connecting to past lives or stuff you can't control. When it comes to energy of Capricorn, it literally means what you are doing now is what you will get back, which is what you have to be very responsible for your actions and your words and your feelings, because all that combined, and your mindset, all that combined will define what you get back. So that's what I mean by that. Now, with that being said, all that under the energy of Pluto. Pluto is one of my favorite planets along with Uranus, because Pluto is the planet of rebirth. It's also a very generational planet. So with Pluto's been in Capricorn for a while. It was in retrograde, but now it's out of retrograde. And it's a planet of rebirth and transformation, also uncovering secrets. And for a lot of people older than my generation, they don't really understand the children of today, because they're constantly changing themselves. They're constantly birthing themselves. 1 minute they're this, next minute they're that, next minute they're using this phrase, next minute they're using that phrase, and it's very confusing. But that's because they're under the generation of Pluto, which is very transformative and it uncovers a lot of secrets. And with the uncovering a lot of secrets, a lot of people understand why children these days are not following the ways of old. That's because they can see what you're not saying. Even my generation could see what you're not saying. And that's just part of the Pluto energy. So they're very transformative and rebirthing. So with that always changing, all those changes have to line up with Jupiter, with your greater fortune, your higher learning, and your vision. So now it has to balance. Because with Jupiter, just because it's your Jupiter, what you learn in your greater fortune could be given to you. But with Pluto being very regenerative, transformative, and uncovering secrets, it will uncover secrets about your public life that you may not necessarily like or agree with, and see in the future that it doesn't match up with your vision or your greater fortune for yourself. So these two have to balance. Also, this is in your 10th house. In your 10th house is all about profession, ambition, public reputation, responsibility for your talents, which I touched into a little bit. So Pluto in your 10th house is just basically amplifying all that. Now, with all that being said, we're going to go over here. As far as the April 23rd, the sun obviously will be in Taurus. Taurus is ruled by Venus, which is physically seeing, which is what you have around you. I'm sorry, I thought somebody called me. But it's physically what you have around you, and you're going to start looking at it as, is this working for me? What's the deeper reason why I have that? Will this help me in the future? Will this pull in, as far as partnerships, things that I need for myself to get things done for the purpose of who I truly am, how I accomplish that, how I want others to see me, and how I manifest that. So again, with that day, for a lot of people, again, if you have not done your shadow work or your dark work, it's going to be an issue. Also, the moon being Aquarius, and Aquarius, the Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, which is a deeper knowing. It's an inner knowing. It's a higher knowing, as I said over there. It's not just intellectual. It's also spiritual when you deal with Uranus. It deals with the things you can't see as well as you can see. Now, this won't be all day. Towards later that night, the moon will start to go into Pisces, but very late that night, which will give people just a little bit of leeway, because Pisces is the big believer in, when it comes to a logical mind, you can actually rationalize and believe anything. But for the most part, you're going to go into a deeper knowing, and it's meant for you to clear out everything instinctively. Again, the moon instinctively is meant for you to clear out and tap into that deeper ancestral knowing. So once it flows out of the cross and into Pisces and all that, your belief should have changed into only that which is good for your greater good, for your higher self, and who you are truly meant to be. Again, tying it back to the beginning of the video, when I said all of this basically is going to show you who you are, whether you are ready for it or not, whether you're in denial or whether you don't want it. It don't matter. It's going to show not only you, but people around you. And it may have already started showing people around you the energy built up to this, whereas people are saying things to you and you're like, no, that's not me. And then they're giving you examples of how that truly is you. And you may see it as a hater, which they're really not. What they're doing is tapping into that energy is showing you who you truly are, which is not a bad thing. If what you say you are should line up with your actions. And that's basically all this cross is showing. What you say you are here and here should line up with your actions here, so that your life here can come out to the way you want it to be. That's basically all this is saying. And it's very active. It's in all these active signs. And a lot of people may try to say that it's bad, but it's only bad. Any energy is only bad depending on the way you use it. So with that, I'm going to shut it down. Hopefully you understand the Cardinal Grand Cross a little bit more. If you do not understand, if it wasn't clear enough, just email me at orisoasis.com, or you can go email me at orisoasis@gmail.com, or just go to my website, which will be in the description box, whatever the hell they call it nowadays. Just go in there and my website will be there. Go there, click on the little envelope button, and email me a question, and I'll answer as best possible. For those that are into the occult, this is a great time to do transformation spells, manifesting spells, realizing your true life goal spells, all that deals with who you truly are, who you truly want to be. And when Pluto is involved, it's great for, and again, Pluto in Capricorn deals with using energy to become and transform who you truly want to be and uncover the secrets you need to know in order to get out of the boxes that you're in, or to go into the boxes that you want to be in. Because a lot of people talk about coming out of the box, but they don't really understand when it comes to the occult. When you come into a box, you go to another one. You're never really stepping outside the box, because to step outside the box is to actually be dead. So as long as you're in this world, you're always going to step into some type of box. But now it's different. As opposed to being put in a box, now you're choosing what box you want to be in that is best for you. And you have the option to leave that box and go to different boxes at any time, and hold doorways open between different boxes so you can move about as you please. But I don't want to get too deep in it. So with that, again, I'm going to shut it down. Everybody stay blessed. Peace.